So, Ginger,
Yeah?
you know how we wanted to start a podcast, but we were having trouble coming up with a topic?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my pitch. The topic of the podcast is us trying to come up with the topic for the podcast.
What, like we pitch each other podcast ideas and that's the podcast?
Yeah, exactly. We could call it, What Should Our Podcast Be About?
Miles, that's really stupid. Let's do it.
What should this song be about? I'm trying to figure it out. What should this song be about? Could you perhaps help me out? I've had a moment of doubt. What should this song be about?
Welcome to Here Come the Grannies, the new podcast that we're definitely doing.
Is this what we're doing this week?
I'm Sheralanda.
And I'm Glenda. Everyone cheer for the grannies.
Welcome to What Should Our Podcast Be About, the podcast where we try to figure out what this podcast that you're listening to right now should be about. I'm Miles Grover.
And I'm Ginger Barham.
I am not Sheralanda.
I'm not Glenda.
May have tricked you there for a moment, listener, with our very
You thought
convincing...
you turned on the wrong podcast. Lol.
It's like when you get somebody's answering machine, but they like made it sound like they picked it up.
Yeah.
And you're like, dang, they got me.
And I always love that.
Yep, it's never annoying. I don't think I have any updates or anything.
No updates this week.
I did watch a video about mice, but I don't have too much to contribute beyond that they do have scaly tails.
Do you still feel the same about their
I
tails?
don't love them. Also, muskrats are mice,
No, they're not.
and they're not beavers, even though they look like little beavers.
They're muskrats.
They're mice, though.
But what is anything then?
It's weird, though, because I don't know if you have seen or remember what a muskrat looks like, but they literally look like a little beaver. Like their tail's like round instead of flat, but they are like little and brown, and they got beaver stance and like...
I don't know if I at any point knew what a muskrat looked like. I feel like I'm never picturing anything because aphantasia, but if I was, I don't think I ever tried to like think about what a muskrat looked like. I just kind of like in my head, I guess it was just a weird rat.
Yeah. I think at some point when I was thinking about muskrats, that's what I was thinking too. But then I realized, no, I have seen them. They look like little beavers.
And were you thinking, Muskrat Sally?
Well, I will be from now on.
You know that song?
No.
I think it's a Carpenter song.
No, I know
feel like
Mustang Sally.
Oh, did I just like make that up then?
That Muskrat Sally.
Maybe that's just what I thought it was when I was a kid. Because I only had like it's not like I throw on that song. I heard my dad listen to it.
Right. You don't throw on Muskrat Sally.
It's not Muskrat Sally.
No, it's
wow.
really
My
not.
whole life I've thought. Wait, are you sure? Are you sure I just made that up?
Well, I'm sure there's a Mustang Sally to the tune you were just saying, and I doubt there's a Muskrat Sally because that's really not a very flattering thing to call someone.
I guess. Wait, Muskrat Sally lyrics is coming up.
Uh-huh.
It's Muskrat Susie. There's a song called Muskrat Love by Captain and Tennille, and I must have just merged that with Mustang
I have
Sally.
heard that song, I think. I can't think of how it goes, though. I do like Muskrat Sally, though, as instead of Mustang Sally.
I wish I was remembering that correctly. I'm kind of sad now.
Well, so that does actually bring up an idea that I've had for a while and just haven't gotten around to mentioning, which is we could do a podcast about Mondegreens, I think they're called, which is like misheard lyrics. Mm-hmm. That's the word for it.
Yeah.
I remember I had a book as a kid called He Has the Whole World in His Pants.
Yeah, there was a whole series of those.
Yeah.
Because my friend and I sat in a bookstore and read all of them one time.
Yeah.
Because, you make your own fun when you're a teenager.
Yeah, sure. Especially before like...
There was one called Excuse Me While I Kiss This Guy.
Right. Which I actually did think was what the lyrics were to that song.
Yeah. And there was a third one, but I don't remember what it was called.
The thing about those, though, is like, I remember several things from that book, and I'm fairly sure no one misheard those. They were just like, wouldn't it be funny if this was the word? Right?
Yeah.
Nobody's like, oh, this song is about how God has the whole world in his pants.
Yeah.
Nobody misheard hands as pants, even though they rhyme, right?
Yeah.
Or more or less rhyme.
Yeah.
Right. And nobody misheard Viva Las Vegas as People Love Bagels, which I remember was one from the song or the book.
They're just
People
weird.
love
They just have Weird
bagels.
Al aspirations.
Yeah, it's basically like I want to be Weird Al, but I don't have anything beyond one line.
Right.
Right? Like
Right,
I don't
right.
I'm too lazy to come up with the rest of it.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's
they
a
were
podcast
funny.
there. They were kind of funny. Maybe there's a podcast like coming up with some or talking about some that we actually had, like, excuse me while I kiss this guy.
Yeah, I still need to know what that commercial was for, where there's a little girl singing in the back of the car and she's singing, "She's got a chicken to ride. It's in my hair."
Yeah. I don't remember that. I've never seen that. And I feel like you couldn't really find evidence of it
I know,
existing.
but like it definitely exists
Okay.
because I saw it multiple times on TV as a child.
Do you have any other like misheard, like genuine misheard lyrics you can think of from
Yes, yes. You know that the song that goes, "Let the bodies hit the floor."
right? Who is that? Is it Disturbed or somebody? Drowning Pool. Apparently.
Drowning Pool, yeah. And it's literally called Bodies, but I didn't know that it was called Bodies. Actually, I don't think that wouldn't have made a difference. For a good portion of my 20s, like at least 5 or 6 years, I thought the words to the chorus were "left the bodies in the boat."
Left the bodies in the boat. Okay, interesting.
And actually, I kind of think my version's better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the rest of the lyrics are, so I don't know if it makes any sense with those. But it does have a little bit more of a mystery to it.
Yeah.
Like, which bodies, which boat? Why did you leave them there? Are you coming back for them?
That was one of those ones where like somebody heard me singing along to it and was like, "What are you singing?" And I had the slow realization that I'd been living a lie.
Yeah. I'm trying to think because I know I've had moments like that where I was definitely singing the wrong thing or whatever,
Yeah.
but I can't recall any at the moment.
Yeah.
I know there's that one Twilight Sad song. What's the one where it really sounds like he's saying something completely different?
Oh, where are your mirrors?
Yeah, and what does it sound like he's saying?
Where are your manners?
Is that it? I feel like there's another
That one, so it's Cold Days from the Birdhouse. And that one, someone I think actually got "Where Are Your Manners" tattooed.
Oh, tattooed.
Tattooed.
Yeah. Bummer.
But
Yeah, maybe that's the one I'm thinking of. I feel like there's another one where it's like completely different than what he's actually saying. I swear there's one where he says something like, "That sounds funny," if you do it wrong.
Well, we have as fans made up some funny lyrics to some of his songs. Like one called "The Airport," and the chorus is, "I could be your answer though," but a lot of people will sing, "I could be your Han Solo."
Oh, that is what it is.
that the
That's
one
the
you're
one I was
thinking
thinking
of?
of. Yeah, and I was trying to think. I was thinking of Indiana Jones. I was
Yeah.
like, why would it be Indiana Jones? That doesn't make sense. And no, that is what it sounds like he's saying to me.
I could be your Han Solo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I thought he said. This is a particularly
Niche.
one. Yeah, I don't think a lot of maybe some of our listeners right now would know this, but in general,
Yeah.
not the biggest.
I mean, I'll certainly post it on my Twilight Sad fan group,
Sure.
and they can marvel at my terrible imitation of James.
Yeah, maybe I'll put in a couple of real quick clips of those.
Yeah.
so people can hear
That
for
would be better
themselves.
than my awful singing for sure.
Okay, so maybe that could be something, but it would help if I could think of ones
Yeah.
that I've had before.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny because like I don't think that any of the fans actually like think that those are the lyrics, but that became like a little bit of a joke.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the fans don't, but like just having heard, I feel like I've only heard that song a couple times or whatever, and just you were like, oh, people say this says Han Solo or whatever. I was like, oh, I thought that is what it sounds like it said. Not really knowing any of the lyrics or any of the other lyrics or whatever.
Yeah.
And I've listened to music. Not the Twilight Sad is not the kind of band that would have a song that says "I'm your Han Solo" or whatever, but there are bands that would have songs
Right.
like that, right? Like,
Right.
You know, I'm no Superman.
I mean, he is
or
a big
whatever and
Star
stuff.
Wars fan, so you
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah. Maybe it was subconscious.
Yeah.
All right. Well, should we move on to ideas? Other ideas?
Yes.
Do you have one? Do you want to talk
I
about?
have one this week, so you should go first if you've got more than one.
Okay, I've got a few.
I'll save my one stupid idea. Maybe while we're chatting, I'll come up with more stupid ideas.
One idea I have is called Electric Boogaloo, and it's an idea where we come up with sequels for movies, like ideas for dumb sequels for movies.
Okay. So we got to pick movies that don't have sequels.
No, just they could be just later sequels. Like I was thinking Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. There was a third one. I don't remember what it was called.
Is this why you're wearing your Bill and Ted shirt today?
No, but I thought about it because of that. But so we could do like Bill and Ted's, Wicked Odyssey or, Bill and Ted's Gnarly Quest or something.
I think it would be fun to come up with sequels to movies that it would be really weird to have a sequel to.
Okay.
Like Titanic 2.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Titanic 2. Do you have a subtitle for it? Like a...
The Titanicking. Titanic 2, She Gets Revenge. She's the boat.
Is she the boat? Okay. Okay. So it's a movie about a boat fighting icebergs? Maybe?
I think maybe the boat fights rich people.
Oh.
Because the rich people let a lot of the poor people drown.
Sure.
There wasn't enough room in the lifeboats, so.
I like the idea of Titanic 2 because it really doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But then because it doesn't make sense, it's hard to think of how it could make sense.
Yeah.
Right? Like Titanic 2, like they send out another Titanic to prove this one really can't be sunk or something.
Yeah. Are there other movies?
Or it's like Space Titanic. Well, I guess that was a Doctor Who episode, actually.
Yeah, Space Titanic. Are there other
movies that it doesn't make sense to have a sequel?
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of like small, contained, character-based. There's movies that are like, about the breakup of a relationship or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like not really about a big thing that would have a sequel.
Yeah. Of course, as soon as you try to like think of something, it's just suddenly I don't know
I've never
any
seen
movie. I've never seen a movie in my life.
Yeah. Well, how about Cocaine Bear 2? The Room 2.
Oh, The Room 2. I mean, that would be difficult because he does shoot himself in the head at the end.
Right. Maybe in the second one, the second one's like, the second one he plays the Crow. He would be a perfect the Crow.
He would actually.
Better than Bill Skarsgård, I think.
I would watch a Tommy Wiseau Crow movie for sure.
But in the but he comes back and he has to kill Lisa. Like the Crow, his girlfriend dies and he dies and then he comes back to avenge her or something, right? But in The Room,
he comes back to avenge himself.
he comes back to avenge himself against his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And Mark,
I guess. Yeah.
Maybe he's avenging Denny. Maybe Denny dies and he comes back to like avenge that, or he comes back to save Denny or something. That could be really stupid and good.
Yeah. So you're suggesting it would have an actual plot.
Well,
whereas The Room has a very loose. I guess, I mean,
he comes back for revenge on Chris R.
I feel like this would be a very ambitious project because I don't know if we could make something as bad or worse than The Room.
Yeah, it'd be kind of fun to come up with sequels that were better than the original.
Yeah, well,
right?
That wouldn't be hard in this case.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it would be hard for it to not be at least as good as the original. But Tommy Wiseau is going to be in it, obviously. Also, I think all the original cast should be in it and not de-aged or anything.
Yeah.
Right? Greg Sestero doesn't look like, I mean, he looks pretty different, but he looks okay.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure like the guy that played Denny is bald now.
And he's still playing like a 17-year-old.
Yeah, he's still playing.
But he's bald.
Yeah, or maybe he's like 19 now or something.
Yeah. I mean, that would be in keeping, right? Because The Room doesn't try to explain anything.
Right. And I don't know. I think all the actors are still alive and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be fun. Troll 3. Actually, I feel like they did make some kind of sequel to Troll 2.
Really?
Like sort of
haven't watched
semi-sequel. Like it's not the same. I feel like that exists.
I'm only coming up with Trolls 3.
No. Okay, so there's a movie called Goblin 2, which is set in the Troll 2 universe. And the Goblin 2 features a troll but no goblins. And it has the dad from Troll 2. And then Under Control, with the T capitalized,
Okay.
is a sequel to Goblin 2.
Anyway, Yeah, that could be a fun podcast.
Yeah, so that's an idea. Maybe we could talk about sequels to silly movies or to good movies, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there could be some legs there, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. We could do like a sequel to, what was that Britney Spears movie?
There's a Britney Spears movie?
Crossroads?
I don't know.
I think it's Crossroads. I think it's called Crossroads. Like just ones that there was a Mariah Carey one called Glitter. Like just ones that bombed.
I remember Glitter. Yeah, I remember
at the
Glitter.
box office. Yeah, Crossroads.
Yeah, I don't remember the Crossroads one. I remember Glitter. I don't
Yeah.
think I saw it, but I remember it.
No, I didn't see either of these, but I think it would be fun to do sequels to movies that like no one asked for the first one and definitely no one asked for a second one.
I feel like we'd have to see it though to suggest a
Yeah.
sequel about it.
yeah. We could read a synopsis.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fun idea.
Okay. Do you have an idea?
Oh, The Shining 2. I guess that kind of already
Yeah,
exists.
it's called
yeah,
Mr. Sleep or
Dr.
Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, that
Dr.
already
Sleep.
exists.
Yeah.
So my idea this week is, I don't have a title for it yet, but it is a podcast where we review TV shows, but we only review TV shows that are like on their final season, and we've never seen any of the other seasons.
So we're only watching the last
We're
season.
only watching the last season.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
That reminds me of that might be fun to talk about. It does remind me of, I watched this guy on YouTube, Drew Gooden. Pretty good
Oh,
YouTube
yeah.
channel.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of his videos.
And he was talking about how he has a bunch of movies that he would, with his friends, they would watch the first like 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes and just like try to guess what the movie was about based on that.
Oh, that's pretty
So that
fun.
could also be a fun idea.
That's pretty fun.
But yeah, so just the last season.
Like,
of a
yeah,
show.
we just watched the last season of OC or something.
Okay.
Because, like, I know how OC ends, but I have no idea, like,
Does
why.
it end with the what you say?
Yeah,
Is that the
yeah.
ending? Yeah. Interesting.
I feel like so many people know that have never seen the
Yeah,
show.
I've
right?
only seen the SNL sketch. Yeah, it's interesting. I've never done that, so I guess I don't know how it would go.
I mean, I'm just thinking about shows that I've watched where it's like, okay, yeah, if I only watched the final season of this,
Mhm.
I would be so confused.
Yeah.
So it could be kind of fun.
Or we could watch. I mean, I guess. Well, I was gonna say, or we could watch like the current season of a soap opera or something with no
Oh.
idea what was going on.
Yeah.
Although maybe they tell you everything. that's
I mean,
going
yeah, I feel like, so there was a period when I was like, I don't know, 13 or 14, where I was like, I'm going to give watching soap operas a try.
on. Okay.
I think it was like I was homesick from school or something.
Sure.
And I did. And then I like missed like a month of it.
Uh-huh.
Came back a month later, still knew exactly what was happening. Like, you can miss a month's worth of episodes and still be fine.
Maybe it's kind of like Dragon Ball Z, where it's like it takes 10 episodes for like one punch to be thrown.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is, because like all of the scenes are seriously like 1 or 2 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
It would, I do think it, like, once you get into it, you probably know what's going on. But like, yeah, if you just jump in, it's like, why are these two characters staring angrily at each other?
Right. Yeah, you don't know that they're secretly half twins
Yeah.
who are both dead but came back or whatever.
Yeah.
The mention of Dragon Ball Z made me realize that maybe the perfect vehicle for something like this would be long-running anime shows. Because I think there's like dozens of seasons of One Piece, for example. I've never watched a single one. If we start at the end and just watch...
Yeah. We could, but I think that I want to watch that about as much as I want to watch soap operas.
Well, I don't really want to watch just the last... And there's no show... If I want to watch a show, I don't want to only see the last season of it, right?
Yeah.
So that... It wouldn't be... We wouldn't want to do it with shows we actually want to watch, right?
Yeah, but it could be fun to like do ones that we...
I mean,
I feel like it would be more interesting to do something more contained.
Well, I feel like that defeats the purpose of, like, if it's all contained, then it's fine to just watch the last. Like,
No,
you could
no,
watch
no.
the last season of Black Mirror and it'd be fine, right?
No. I mean, like, something that's clearly got like a beginning and an end, and we only watch the end.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I guess I was thinking that the fun part is how confused you'd be, right?
Yeah.
Like, no idea what's going on.
Well, yeah. No, I feel like this would be confusing. I think what I'm saying is I don't want to watch anime or soap operas. Like, I feel pretty set against watching either of those things.
you don't like, I mean, you like You don't like any anime?
I liked that weird one with the dog/cat that you showed me.
The dog/cat.
I think like she was always saying she was going to eat her dog or something.
Oh, Excel Saga.
Yeah. That one I enjoyed.
Yeah, we should watch more of that. I've only seen a handful. That one's a comedy, like constantly breaking the fourth wall kind of one.
Yeah.
And being as ridiculous as possible.
Yeah, I think that's why I enjoyed it. But for the most part, no, I'm not a big anime fan.
I mean, I've never seen One Piece, right? There's a bunch of animes that are really big if you watch anime, but also are so long that you would have no idea because if you don't start at the beginning, I mean, you're not going to start at the beginning. I'm not going to start at the beginning. I don't have enough of my life left to do that, right?
Yeah.
But I am a little bit curious about it, and it might be interesting. I don't know. Maybe one series of episodes we do could be about an anime like that or something.
Yeah. I mean, a flaw in this is definitely that like there's a lot of shows we've already seen. So it's going to like limit our choices.
I don't feel like there's plenty of shows we haven't seen, I think.
Yeah.
I think we're not going to run out of shows we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Even ridiculously long running animes or whatever. Like, I don't think we would run out of any of those kind of things. Or, teen dramas. I think that's what the OC is, right? Like, I don't actually know much of anything about the OC. Or Riverdale or
Dawson's
whatever.
Creek.
Dawson's Creek. I did watch Dawson's Creek when it was on. I don't know how much
really?
of it I watched.
Huh.
Yeah, I watched it. I was into what's her face, the brown-haired girl,
Katie Holmes.
Yeah, Katie Holmes. I was into her at the time.
Yeah.
And I shipped her and Pacey or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't care about Dawson and that other girl, Michelle Williams.
Michelle Williams. Yeah.
Didn't really care about
she
them
was
or
in
whatever.
That too.
Anyway, so I have seen some of that, but there's lots of more recent ones I definitely haven't seen any of, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. That could be kind of fun. Another thing that occurs to me is, or I was sort of thinking about this earlier, is what if we took a really long running show and just started watching it from the last episode or the most recent episode backwards? So like we'll be really confused and get a little bit less confused as we go on, and eventually we'll be like, oh, that's why such and such a thing happened.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that could be pretty fun.
Yeah, because I was thinking about Doctor Who, like what if we started watching the current episode and went backwards all the way into the 60s show.
I mean, that could be the entire show.
Yeah, that would be decades of podcasts probably, because there's a lot of episodes.
And there's a lot of episodes that are just lost to time.
Yeah, that's
too.
also true. So maybe Doctor Who, and we also watch Doctor Who and would know the last 10, 14, 15 seasons or whatever it is.
Yeah.
We would already know all those. So we would have to start.
We'd have to go
before that, I guess.
Yeah, we'd have to go like what was it,
2005, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I actually also don't super want to do because I have seen some older episodes and a lot of them are pretty hard to watch at this point.
Yeah,
just
I have
pacing
to.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's probably other shows that it could be fun to like kind of Benjamin Button our way through.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know what we would do. I mean, we obviously couldn't really do that as part of this podcast, like today, right?
Yeah.
We I don't know how we would talk about that more.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I guess I could just explain some episodes of a show to you that you haven't seen other seasons of.
Right. Yeah.
And you could do the same. There's shows that only you've watched or that I've watched.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any shows that only I've watched that I remember well enough to tell you what happens in the last season. I guess I could tell you what happens in the last season of Star Trek Voyager maybe or something like that. Probably have to look up synopses, but
yeah, and I feel like those are probably a little bit more contained, right? Like Star Trek tends to be like each episode is its own story.
To some extent. I mean, it depends. I mean, Deep Space Nine is less like that. Voyager is more like that, but there's an overarching arc, I guess.
Yeah.
Where they're trying to get back home because they've been flung to the Delta Quadrant or whatever it is.
Right. We watched
Gamma
a little bit of
Quadrant?
one.
Whatever
That's the one
quadrant
with the chef from Orange is the New Black.
Yeah. Catherine.
I love her though. She's wonderful. Or at least I love her in Orange is the New Black.
Kate Mulgrew, I think is her name.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Kate Mulgrew is in it. Jerry Ryan is in the later seasons of it, and she's basically the best character.
Yeah.
But Janeway gets some points for being like a badass captain, like the first woman captain and stuff.
We didn't get to those episodes, I feel like.
No, we didn't. We only watched.
Been slowly.
Yeah, we only watched like 2 or 3 episodes.
You've been slowly educating me on Star Trek because I resisted it for a long time.
Yeah, well, and to be fair, Voyager is rough for those first 3 seasons, I think. And I
Yeah.
think there's only 4 or 5 seasons. Maybe there's more, but I feel like there's only 2 or 3 I feel like that have 7 of 9 in them.
Yeah.
And the show gets decent once she's on it, basically, I feel like, but
That's always rough when a show is really good and you have to be like, no, just hold on. Just watch like 20 more episodes.
yeah,
I promise
just
it's going to get
through
good.
2 more seasons and then it'll be good. That's what people have told me about Discovery, actually, which I think just ended, and I only watched the first like 1 or 2 episodes, and I was like, this is whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess at some point I want to try that. We did start Strange New Worlds also.
Yeah.
We could probably keep going on that
Yeah.
at some point, but anyway,
Oh,
this
we're
is
very invested in Baby Reindeer right now.
yeah, we'll get through that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Though. This is not what we're currently watching on Netflix.
I mean, it is.
thing
It usually
a
is
little
most of the time.
Yeah, but okay, so this is kind of a fun idea. It could be another one where we actually try it,
Yeah.
and then come back and do an episode about
we
it.
watched just the last episode of something.
Yeah.
The very last episode.
Yeah,
That could be kind of fun.
the very last, like something that's ended. Like we watched the last episode of The Sopranos or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Although that might be a bad choice because I feel like I already know how that one. Because I feel like I saw enough people talking about it.
All I know about it is it like ends abruptly or unsatisfactorily or something. Like
Yeah.
people weren't happy with the ending. That's all I know about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be fun, especially because we were, considering naming our skeleton Boney Soprano.
True. Okay, well, so is that enough for that idea for right now?
Yes, I think so. Do you got another one for me?
So I do have another thing that I want to talk about that I think is interesting, and I'm not sure if it's a podcast quite, but so we did a number of episodes or a few episodes in the past about like using AI to come up with ideas and stuff like that. And AI has advanced since then. You can now use ChatGPT 4 for free, 4.0, with like the letter O, which is different than ChatGPT 4, I guess, somehow. And that isn't quite what I want to talk about right now, although at some point I probably will want to, because you can do erotic stuff on it now. It doesn't immediately barf and die.
Okay.
Because I had the idea, my bot wrote a porno.
Yeah.
And like the other day I asked it to like, do a sex scene, and it did one. Like it wasn't particularly good or anything. It wasn't like super graphic either, but like it didn't just immediately go, oh, I can't talk about that.
Yeah.
And die. So that might be something fun to explore. But I was using Bing's image generator AI, which I believe is DALL-E based. And I just asked it to come up with a single panel comic. That's all I said, like generate a single panel comic.
Okay.
Right? And a lot of the things it generated were not comics. They were like sort of comic adjacent.
Okay.
But they weren't comics really. They were one panel, I guess, but they weren't like a single panel comic. But I did get one set of results. Every time it does 4. I did get one set of results that I wanted to talk about, and it is another instance of reading comics on the podcast, I guess. But I would like you to look at these and kind of read them and explain what's going on here.
All right. I want to preface this though that I don't support AI art, and I generally think it's pretty terrible. But okay, I'm looking at a tree.
You're looking at a black and white drawing, a comic, like looks like a newspaper comic, right?
Yeah, it's got a tree with some animals sitting on the branch, a nest with I think is got a bird in it, and there's a cat and what I think is supposed to be a squirrel, but looks like a squirrel cat hybrid having a conversation with one another. And it says, the cat is saying, you think they are having a meeting. And then there's a second speech bubble also coming from the cat that says, in smig naking.
Yes. So that one, you think they're having a meeting, and then some nonsense.
The next one is a zoomed in panel of the tree branch with the nest and a different bird in the nest. There's a cat sitting next to the nest, and it says, and the bird is saying, you think they are having a meeting, which makes no sense because it's the two of them. And then in the next panel, we see another nest on a branch that makes no sense. The branch itself just doesn't make sense. And there are two squirrels and a cat. The cat has a speech bubble that is just ellipses. One of the squirrels is missing a tail for some reason. And then the next panel is a cat and a squirrel again. And there's a nest with a squirrel in it. Nothing else. No other animals in the tree, just the squirrel in the nest. And the cat is saying, you think they are having a meeting.
So it like got really set on this idea that cats and squirrels are looking at a tree and you think they are having a meeting, I guess is the punchline.
Because I feel like that's something that like my parents would say, or like you say to kids about animals. Like I remember, and this one's better actually. When I was a kid, I pointed out to my dad, I saw like there were a bunch of crows up on this telephone line, and there was a group of them on one side to the left, and then all the way over on the right, there was just one crow by itself. And my dad was like, they're having a meeting. They're trying to decide if they're going to let that guy in. Right. Much better joke.
Right. Also, maybe not even a joke because crows do actually have meetings.
Oh, well.
They have like meetings where they like will judge a crow, and like I'm pretty sure I'm not making this up. Like they'll like you can see sometimes crows out like in a field like yelling at each other, and there's like one crow in the middle, and then they decide if they're going to like kick its ass or something.
I mean, I feel like I've heard that and I believe it because crows can be very vindictive if you've wronged them.
Yeah. And
I assume that also applies to other crows.
I don't know. I just thought these comics were funny because they did come up with a comic. They're not all single panels. Some of them have 2 panels, and they all have, you think they're having a meeting as the like main text.
I just think
it doesn't make sense the way that they do it.
I just think it's funny that I prefaced this by like, I hate AI art. And then like the AI art proved me right. Was like, this is what happens when something without a soul tries to make art.
Yeah. So I have mixed feelings about AI art. The bad part of AI art is like the really bad part of AI art, leaving aside it not being good at like rendering things properly.
It steals from artists.
Not even that, is that it steals from artists to make a corporation money.
Right.
Like OpenAI or whatever is making these things, and then they're selling the service, and they stole all that art.
And you are an artist, so you are potentially affected by this.
I mean, I don't know if it's, used any of my art as
there's certainly a chance.
Training data. It's not impossible, but I'm not so worried about that because I think that's how I make art, is I look at other art and I reproduce things that I've seen.
Yeah,
right?
But you have a soul.
Yes. Well, I don't have a soul.
But
actually.
You know what I mean. Like, you're not a computer.
I'm not a computer.
You are creatively interpreting things.
Right.
Not just copying them.
Yes, that's fine. My feeling about AI art is that it's a problem of like our economic structures, not a problem in itself of creating a tool that can do this stuff. Because I think as it gets better, I think there's lots of fun uses that artists can use to automate away doing some boring stuff, or to get inspiration. Like, oh, what would a giraffe riding a rhino look like?
Right.
I've never seen that. I can't find an image of it, but I could ask AI to generate it, and maybe it would do a good job, and then I could use that as inspiration, or something. Random stuff like that, right? Yeah. I think that there's merit to a tool like this, and I think the fact that it stole from other artists is only bad because it's
profiting.
It's profiting. It's taking things from those artists and then making money for a soulless corporation, right? To speak about soulless, right? I think the corporation's more soulless than the AI is, honestly. Like,
well, yeah.
In terms of like soulless, meaning like completely amoral and will do anything for bad reasons.
That's what I mean when I say a soul or soulless.
Yeah. Like, I don't really believe in copyright very much. Like, I don't think we should have copyright the way we do. I think, taking from other people is fine, as long as, like, that's how all art is like derivative and is inspired by other artists. Good artists copy, great artists steal, right? That's the Picasso quote or whatever. And I think that's fine and good, as long as artists can live, right? As long as artists are, have what they need in society, right? Anyway, leaving all that aside, AI art is whatever. What I think about, or the politics of AI art are kind of, murky at best. But what I like about AI art is that it's still in the fun stage.
Yeah.
Because a few years ago, I mean, you would see comments about, posts all the time, like, I fed a bot this, and then it came out with this, right? And they would be hilarious.
Yeah.
A lot of those were completely made up and fake. They didn't feed a bot that, and that came out. But there was a fair amount of fun stuff you could get from training a neural net with certain data.
Yeah.
And get a completely bonkers cookbook out of it or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, you would get a cookbook that's probably got bad recipes in it, but they would all make some kind of sense.
Yeah.
All the sentences would make sense together. All the ingredients are like real words, right? Like it's not going to tell you to put like bar blop on your clam dops or something, right?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't, it's too good to be fun for the most part.
Yeah.
A lot of it is.
So you're saying because it's still ridiculous.
It's still fun. Like, yeah, like I don't know if you saw some of the images that were generated for that Willy Wonka disaster thing in Scotland. You know what I'm talking about? Where they sold the whole idea based on AI generated images.
Right.
And if you go and find them, the images, like AI is good at generating text, but not text in images.
Right.
Like we saw in that one, it said, Insmig Niking. Like that's nothing, right?
Yeah.
And there were some pretty funny ones in the Willy Wonka one. I could pull up, but I don't know if it's worth it right now. But anyway, it's still in the fun stage where you can get really crazy stuff. Or like those images I showed you a little while ago where somebody had some people were asking ChatGPT to generate memes that ChatGPT thought were funny. Do you remember that? So there was the chicken with sunglasses.
Oh, right. Yeah.
The disco background.
This is G, but like the second H is like two H's squished together.
Yeah, right. And like a cat, just a pretty much regular cat, and it says glurt, right? Or my favorite one, cartoon cat that kind of looks a little bit like Garfield, but like realistic. And the cat sitting at a table and saying, quote, John Hamburger, end quote.
Yeah, but the beginning quote is a double quote, and the end quote is a single quote too.
Right, yeah. But like a cat just yelling John Hamburger for no reason.
It's pretty funny.
It's funny, right?
Yeah.
Like it's still at a stage where it can generate things that are genuinely weird and silly.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I enjoy about AI art. And I felt like those comics were kind of on that level of like it had something. It was almost a comic, but it didn't make sense and it was pretty stupid.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fun. I don't know that we should explore this idea more though, because I don't think that discussing comics in an audio medium is necessarily super interesting.
Yeah, we've talked about that before, of course, multiple times, many times.
But should we try to narrow it down?
Yeah, sure. I liked Electric Boogaloo the best, I think.
Yeah. What else did we have? We had Final Seasons.
Final Seasons or Seasons Backwards or just the beginning and end of movies. We had the sequels thing. We had...
I like the sequels thing.
Yeah,
I think that
was Electric Boogaloo.
That was Electric Boogaloo. Okay, yeah. I think that's the one I like the best
this
too.
AI comics thing. Do we have anything else?
I don't think so.
We talked about the Mondegreens thing at the beginning, misheard lyrics thing.
Yeah. I think the sequels is the one I like the most.
Okay. We also briefly talked about Here Come the Grannies again, I guess, but...
Yeah, I still don't want to do it.
Still don't want to do that.
No.
Okay. You don't want to watch the last season of a show, but as a granny?
No.
I didn't like how nothing made sense. I don't know. Yeah, it's not good. Okay, so sequels. So we talked about The Room 2, Titanic 2. Do we want to discuss those more? Or do we want to brainstorm some more potential things that would be good or bad to have sequels?
I mean, I feel like Titanic 2 could be kind of fun to explore further.
Okay, so let's see. What happens in Titanic 1 is there's Jack and Rose or whatever on the ship. It's been a while since I've seen it, I guess, but or it starts with the old lady. She's telling the story. Right? And she's on a submarine or something.
No,
or a boat.
she's on it. So it starts with them like excavating stuff from the Titanic.
Right.
And they're looking for the necklace.
Right.
And she sees something on TV and contacts them.
Right. As a survivor of the Titanic. I don't know if we need to do a whole synopsis of the movie, but I'm just trying to think of like what do we need to know?
Well, Jack dies.
Jack dies. He doesn't fit on the big door. At
Titanic 2, Jack's Revenge.
Jack's Revenge. Okay, so it's a
Jack comes back as a ghost.
So he's a ghost, or is he a ghost, a zombie, a skeleton, a vampire? I don't know why he would be a vampire.
He's a very soggy ghost.
Soggy ghost. Okay, so he's like one of those ghost pirates, but he's not a pirate.
Yeah.
which is a ghost. Ghost pirate minus pirate equals ghost. But I meant like, covered in
Ghost
seaweed,
math.
seaweed or whatever. Yeah, ghost math. Covered in seaweed or whatever.
Yeah.
And he haunts doors?
He haunts doors. It wasn't actually a door, though, was it?
Oh, I don't know. It
Isn't
looked
that
like
a
a door,
thing?
but
I
I
feel
guess
like
it
it
was
was-
too big maybe to be a door, actually.
I don't remember what somebody said it was.
It doesn't matter.
In our sequel, it's a door.
Yeah. We didn't pay that much attention to the original movie making the sequel, which is pretty par for the course for a lot of sequels, I guess.
Yeah. This is going to be a straight to video for sure.
For sure. If that.
Straight to streaming.
Yeah.
I guess it's straight to streaming
Straight
now.
to YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. So he haunts doors. What's his goal?
Well, he's got unfinished business, I guess, as a ghost. He wants to...
He can't be after Billy Zane because Billy Zane's character we know offs himself, like off screen.
Okay. He wants to bang Rose.
But didn't Rose die at the end of the first one?
Yeah, maybe she's a ghost.
Which, by the way, like, this old lady just comes onto your ship and then dies. Throws the thing that you're looking for into the ocean instead of giving it to you, and then goes to sleep and dies.
Yeah. From the point of view of the people on the boat, it's a pretty lame story, I guess. I don't know. For some reason, I really want there to be like commandos and helicopters and stuff going after the iceberg or something.
Yeah. So maybe he comes back as a ghost to stop another boat accident.
Okay.
Maybe someone has built a Titanic too.
Mm-hmm.
And
Teutonic.
Oh, Teutonic. That's a
movie
good
should
name
be
for the
called
sequel.
Teutonic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it should be called Teutonic for sure. And so he's
With the number 2. The letter 2.
Yeah, he's hovering. Teutonic, Too Fast, Too Furious.
Teutonic, Too Furious.
He's like hovering in doorways of the ship,
The new ship.
the Teutonic,
The Teutonic, yeah.
trying to warn.
Anybody, but they can't see him.
Yeah. Well, they see him, but they're like not listening to him because they're like, what are you doing up here on this deck? You should be down below with the other poors.
Okay, so they just think he's a poor guy.
Yeah.
And this boat was from...
They're like, he looks a little pale and wet, but like, that's probably just because he's poor.
Probably what it's like down there
Yeah.
in the lower decks. Okay, so this boat was sent like shortly after the original. So he still looks like of the right time period.
Yeah, it could
not
even
like-
be like, it could be like 10 years later.
Yeah.
Like his clothes may be out of fashion, but hey, he's poor.
people are
He's
out of
poor.
Yeah, poor people are out of fashion. That's fine. Okay. Because I was kind of picturing like it's modern day and somebody's decided to try a Titanic again.
Yeah.
I feel like anybody who like is like after the Titanic, I'm gonna make a Teutonic. They already know what happened to the Titanic, so telling them like, you guys, there's icebergs out here doesn't really help. They already, if they've decided to do this, they've already accounted for that or think they have. Or
But yeah, hubris, right?
right. So, but I feel like his warning them doesn't, and it's like, it's not that the problem that icebergs exist, right? The problem was that the ship like kept going when it shouldn't have, and whatever.
It was a bunch of things.
There's a bunch of things, right? But those things could happen again, but like they're not things you can really warn about, right? Like
maybe this ship doesn't have any poor people on it. It's all rich people. Maybe he's trying to sink the ship.
Okay. So he's like, guys, iceberg's not a problem.
Yeah.
But they already think that.
No, he's sabotaging.
Okay. So he's a ghost sabotaging.
But it's all rich people, so he's going to have to like, I guess they think he's a worker maybe.
Right.
That worker sure is soggy.
That's probably what it's like down there.
Must be wet down there in the engine room. That's weird. I'm not going to examine that further.
I feel like, I mean, maybe we should move on from Teutonic. I like this idea. I'm not sure what the best direction is. I feel like maybe it's more fun to be a totally different thing where like commandos are coming to try to kill the iceberg, and it's like a horror movie where the iceberg keeps like some guys are just like playing cards and like an iceberg suddenly pops out of the wall and crushes them. Right? Or something stupid like
Just
that.
go
Like,
really over the top.
yeah, it's like the iceberg is a shark from the Shark movie or a Jason from a Jason movie or whatever. It's like people are running down the hall and it's like slowly sliding toward them and they can't get away and then it crushes them.
Teutonic to iceberg.
To iceberg, yeah. That could use some work. But
Titanic, Ice Baby.
I think it's like Titanic. They thought they were safe. And it's just like a picture of a scary iceberg.
I feel like they thought they were safe with this scary iceberg is the poster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
All right. What's another good movie that shouldn't have a sequel?
Does it have to be a good movie?
No, I mean a good movie to not have a sequel.
Food Fight.
That shouldn't have had a original.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about Food Fight. It's so bad.
The Bed That Eats People.
I mean, any bad movie would have a bad sequel, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's not as funny.
The Room 2 has some stuff we could talk about, I feel like. But like The Bed That Eats People, the whole movie is right in the title. And I don't know how you do one movie of that, let alone a second one.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And I believe it was called Deathbed, The Bed That Eats People.
Right. Deathbed, The Bed That Eats People.
Or maybe just The Bed That Eats. I don't know. Because
it's The Bed That Eats ... people.
Is it? Okay.
The title is actually better than the movie. In this case.
It does eat chicken wings in the movie, I remember. So it doesn't only eat people.
Yeah. It's a very hungry.
It's a
hungry
bed.
waterbed.
Very hungry bed or pillar.
Better pillars, not your best work.
No. Although now I'm thinking, what about a horror movie about the very hungry caterpillar? That's not a sequel to anything.
Okay.
But
And so like that Winnie the Pooh thing where
Yeah, I
like
guess.
people instead of like
yeah.
we just make it a horror movie.
But Winnie the Pooh came out of copyright, and I'm sure the very hungry caterpillar is not out of copyright. So
No.
we'd have to call it the like extremely famished caterpillar or something. But no, let's not do that.
Okay. A movie that would be weird to have a sequel to.
What about like a prequel to Jurassic Park where they don't have any dinosaurs yet? It's just a movie about a park.
That could be fun.
I don't know if there's more to it than that, but
yeah. I
It's
mean,
just
that
like-
could be fun in that like it's definitely an anti-joke.
yeah, it's just like Dennis Nedry or whatever just programming at his computer and that's it.
Yeah.
It's just,
yeah.
they're building these big dino walls, but there's no dinosaurs.
Maybe like
They've got a goat.
if we
but it's
wanted to
not
make it
being-
interesting, maybe like you find out why, like it's all just about Nedry's backstory and like why he's so like why he became the way he is and like
Yeah.
why he turned on them. I guess maybe it wouldn't be that interesting.
No,
It'd
I
just
feel
be
like
money, right?
I feel like they explained it was money.
Yeah.
So yeah.
7.
Okay, a sequel to 7.
Gwyneth Paltrow's zombie head
Yeah, I was
comes
gonna
back
say,
for revenge.
The box goes on a killing spree.
She just like haunts people they find her in their closet and it's just Gwyneth Paltrow's severed head going, "What's in the box?" That could be genuinely scary.
I guess it seems pretty comical.
I mean, if I found a head in my closet going, "What's in the box?" I would be scared.
It would be scary, but what would the head then do to you? Like if you just left, what would happen? Right?
I was imagining her having like zoomy floaty powers.
Okay, but still, what is she gonna?
She's gonna eat you
Okay, so
with her zombie teeth.
She's like, "What's in the box?" Actually, don't. It's a rhetorical question. I'm gonna eat you.
Yeah. She just shows up in like boxes.
But like, who's okay? Any box.
Yeah. The opening scene is like
She goes on a rampage through an Amazon
no.
facility.
I got the opening scene.
Okay.
I got the opening scene. Okay, I got the opening scene. The opening scene is like we see like an idyllic like Christmas setting. Like a husband is like waiting for his wife to open a present and he's like, "Pick one," and she's like, "I picked that one." She's like, "Did you get me a puppy? It's moving."
And the husband's like, "Wait, why is it moving?"
He's like kind of distracted, not really paying attention. She opens the box and we just say, her head comes flying out and it just like zooms in on her mouth.
I feel like she has to open the wife or whatever has to open the box. Gwyneth Paltrow's head has to like turn around and be like, "What's in the box?" And then fly out and bite her or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Why these people? Are these any particular people? Is it Brad Pitt?
Ghost vengeance. She's just killing everybody.
Is it Kevin Spacey's mom or something? Like, is it anybody related or just
No, I mean,
she's
she
in
was
any
murdered
box?
horribly, so she's just angry.
She's just angry and in any box.
In any box, yeah.
Can she like teleport between boxes?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's like horror movie, like monster logic, right? Like, you know how like horror villains don't have to run. They just like catch up to you.
Right. Well, I feel like to say she can teleport between any box is maybe saying too much, because like you're not supposed to think about it, but like there'll be a scene where she's in one box and they close it and they run away, and then there's another box and she comes out of that.
She's in all the Christmas presents.
Yeah, or something. I was gonna say, or she could like run amok on like an Amazon warehouse.
Oh,
where they're
yeah.
packing a zillion boxes full of
People
stuff
are like
constantly.
really scared to do next day delivery now.
I was gonna say, well, it could be a thing about like bad working conditions at Amazon warehouses.
I kind of love this idea. I do. What other boxes would be fun for her to like? Is that like scene where she's like inside a music box? No, that'd be too small. She wouldn't fit in there.
That wouldn't make sense. That wouldn't make sense. So
what are some other fun boxes she could?
So she's
there's got to be a
basically-
Jack in the Box scene, right?
Okay.
Like a giant Jack in the Box in a
big
toy
Jack in the-
store or
okay.
something.
Sure. So the rule is the same as like cat rules. If I fits, I sits.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like if I fits, I haunts. I guess.
And murders.
And murders. So she's not a ghost. She's a flying zombie head.
People are only ordering like things in very small packages now.
Or like bags or something.
Yeah.
She can't get into a
Can't
bag.
get bags.
Only boxes.
Only boxes.
So the movie's about how she actually revolutionizes the shipping industry and gets rid of our dependence on cardboard boxes.
Right. Yeah.
In the end.
Yes. It's a movie with a message.
Can she pop out of things that are box-like coffins, I guess? Like, does it have to literally be a box?
I mean, I guess it could be a coffin.
I mean, people call them pine boxes, I guess,
Yeah.
sometimes.
It's got to be square shaped.
It's got to be or rectangular, you mean?
Square or rectangle.
Okay, not a coffin-shaped coffin.
Not a coffin shape.
Okay, so it's got to be a rectangle, a solid rectangle that opens.
Mhm.
And that's what's considered
square.
a box. Well, squares are rectangles. Yeah. So, okay.
Now, can she hide in a box that's on top of something like a box with legs? Like, should she be inside a piano bench?
Is that a box?
Is it just a box on legs?
Does the movie explore this topic? Is there like a scientist who's like, what counts as a box?
Yeah.
Like
Yes, and he says it like, what counts as a box?
Yeah.
What counts as a box?
he's got like a whole like board, like conspiracy
String,
board type thing,
yep,
with string and
yep.
everything. Or like a ton of equations on it or something. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
I like that. 7-2. Is it 72? Is it called 72? Is it called 8?
Yeah, what do we call it?
Is it called 8? 7 was 7 deadly sins, right? So
Yeah.
it's 8 or
Well, which one is murder out of the 7 deadly sins?
it's not, I don't think. The 7 deadly sins are more like qualities of a person. They're not even sins really, right? It's are you wrathful or gluttonous or greedy or lustful?
Yeah, wrath. I mean, wrath would be the one here, right?
I guess. I mean, I imagine they explore this somewhat in the movie, probably, but
yeah.
I don't remember the movie well enough. And I don't particularly want to go back and watch it.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. He's just murdering people for the 7 deadly sins, and wrath is the last one because he's trying to get Brad Pitt to murder him.
Right. But Brad Pitt's wife didn't do wrath, did she?
No, but wrath
It's
is
just-
Brad Pitt killing him.
Yeah,
That's why he murdered.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay, that's fine. So
Or maybe it was envy for that one. I don't know. Anyway, but
okay.
yeah.
So I mean, the 8th deadly sin is boxes, having things in boxes.
I mean, we could just call it "What's in the Box."
A 7 story.
We could
7
call it
door.
"It's My Head in a Box."
I did briefly imagine.
There's got to be a scene where she sings that.
Well, I was briefly imagining those guys being horrified to find she's in the box when they put their dick in the box.
Oh,
But I feel like that would get too weird. There would be too much weird.
that's going into like
Implications.
trauma film
Yeah,
category.
yeah,
I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Not that this isn't already pretty trauma.
No, it is pretty trauma, but
I feel like it should be called it should be called either 8 because it's the next one after 7, 9 because it's 7 plus 2 and it's 7-2, or 72 because I feel like it should be a really stupid number thing.
yeah,
And it could be like
9 I like.
it could be called 9, what's in the box? 7-2 equals 9, what's in the box? Or something stupid like that.
7 plus 2. What's in the box?
Yeah, I don't know.
Just 7 plus 2.
7 plus 2. Well, it's really only plus 1. It's a sequel, right? It's the next one.
Yeah, but it's 7.
It's 7 too.
2.
I know.
So it's 7 plus 2.
Yeah. But it's, yeah. Okay, whatever. It's
9.
fine.
9 is good.
9.
9 is good.
I kind of like 8.
8?
I don't know. They're both don't make any sense, really.
7, 8, 9.
7, 8, 9. That almost kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Because she's eating people
Yeah.
from the boxes.
I know I say this a lot, but this might be one of our dumbest ideas yet.
It's pretty good though.
But I would watch this.
Yeah, I kind of want to do this idea more too. Like,
Yeah.
we're pretty much out of time, I
Yeah.
think. So we should probably wrap up. But I do think we should maybe explore this
We
again.
might have to talk about this one further
Yeah.
next week.
Maybe we'll come up with good ideas in the meantime.
Yeah. Send us your ideas.
Yeah, for ideas.
Send us your movies that you think don't need a sequel, and
that
we
we
will
should put
make a sequel.
to. Yeah. All right. Should we do our social media?
Yeah, so you can find all of our links to all of our social media on our website, which is coolpodcast.website. You can email us your ideas to ideas@coolpodcast.website. Please email us. We want to talk about your ideas, not just our dumb ideas. We're on Instagram @WhatShouldPod, and we are on YouTube. Just search for What Should Our Podcast Be About? And that's it. That's all I got.
Welcome to What Should Our Outro Be About? The outro where we try to figure out what this outro that you're listening to right now should be about. I'm still here.
And I'm also still here.
Oh, good. I thought you weren't here for a second. Okay.
I was thinking of outro ideas. I was distracted.
Okay. Do you have outro ideas?
I was thinking, could we generate a very silly voice screaming what's in the box?
Like with AI or something?
Yeah. Maybe we want to hear Nicolas Cage screaming what's in the box.
Yeah,
that could be
I don't
funny.
know. It was a hassle to try to find the Arnold Schwarzenegger one. And I feel like Nick Cage doesn't even have a distinctive enough voice for AI to do it well, probably.
What about you? Do you have any ideas?
I do not have ideas. However, Rory just woke up, and it's been a while since we had any Rory sounds on the podcast, so maybe we can get him to make some sounds.
Yeah. Maybe we can get Rory to make some sounds.
All right. Thanks for listening. We're sorry, and we won't do better next time.
Bye.
What was that podcast about? I'm trying to figure it out. Didn't catch what that was about.